Hi guys, so this is sort of my third video that I filmed today. My phone is going to be so full of me being fabulous. No, or it's just going to be full of it. But regardless, I thought I would do this video because I mention it on occasion and people are sometimes not taken aback, but they're not sure how to deal with it. And I have a few things in my life. I'm a very open person and I tend to try and be the one who will say something because there are so many people out there who feel that they can't say something, that they need to have shame. And I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of or hide. There's a few things like that in my life. I'm not going to go into all of them because some of them are pretty heavy. And this is a light one. So I wanted to talk about my cancer. And I did have cancer. I had a stage 2 in situ. No, it wasn't in situ. I had a stage 2 breast cancer in my right breast. And my grandmother had breast cancer and my mother had breast cancer, so this was not entirely unexpected in my life. I was over 40 and I probably should have been checked sooner. I found it during a mammogram. Please go and get your boobies squished. Just go and do it. Go now. Make your appointment right now. Go. I will wait. Have you gone? Are you back? Okay, good. Thank you. If I was close enough, and if I am close enough, I will go and hold your hand, but go make that appointment. Especially if you have any history. Any history. It's terrifying. I know people are terrified of finding out if they have cancer, so they won't do it. And I know if you're in the States and you don't have universal health care, I don't even, I've lived in California. I had wonderful health care because of the job my husband had, but I don't know. Anyway, do not want to get political about this, just that I understand. But please go get checked out. So when they found my breast cancer, I did not find it through a self-examination or anything. I did find it during a mammogram. And it was a very terrifying experience in many ways. But at the same, one of the, roll it back, Noel. The reason that I sort of got off my arse and actually went and got checked out was because at the same time, my brother-in-law, who I will insert pictures of because he was one of my best friends, he came on the honeymoon with my husband and I for part of it. It's a long story and I'll go into it later, but he was that close. He lived in our house for a long time. He was like dad number 2 to my kids, and he had esophageal cancer. He had a stage 4 cancer, which is, there is no stage 5. Stage 4 is, let's see how long we can keep you alive with the best quality of life. And some people live a very long time. He did not. Esophageal cancer is incredibly aggressive. And he lived, they said he had 6 months and he lived almost exactly 6 months. But while he was going through all his treatments, I of course was going through mine. So it was an interesting time. We like to refer to it here as the year of hell. I had a partial mastectomy. I had a lumpectomy. They took a lump. They took the actual tumor, which is the first and the best defense against cancer, is to actually remove the tumor, the primary tumor. If you have a cancerous tumor, this could be a very long video, and I'm sorry if it is, and if nobody's interested. If you have a cancerous tumor, the primary tumor is what you are worried about, mostly. I mean, it's not necessarily what's going to kill you, but that's what they want to get out. So they try to find it before it has spread. Now, unfortunately, mine had spread into some of my lymph nodes, which is why it was considered a stage 2 cancer. So they did the surgery first to remove the primary cancer. Just a little aside, if you have breast cancer and it metastasizes, moves into another part of the body, it metastasizes especially to a major organ, that will bump you up to a stage 4. We've talked about stage 4. The thing is, even if the cancer goes into your liver, you do not have liver cancer. You have breast cancer metastasized to your liver. I just feel it's important that people know that. I don't know why. So I'm just explaining that. So they took the primary tumor and they took some lymph nodes, and there was a significant amount of cancer found in the lymph nodes. I'm very lucky. I have no lymphedema. It's my right hand. That's my moneymaker. Sorry, that's really bad. It's the hand I use to draw. It's the hand I use to do my artwork. I mean, bad enough for anybody to have lymphedema at all, but it could conceivably have destroyed my career on top of everything else. So I had the surgery, and then I did 6 rounds of chemo. I did 3 of one type and then 3 of another type, which is standard practice for breast cancer. It's the standardized treatment. I lost all my hair, except for one under my chin. Thank you. Just to add insult to injury, I lost all the hair on my body. All the hair. I mean, I'm already a naked mole rat, but I had no eyebrows. I had no eyelashes. I will find a picture. I will insert it. Which is why eyelashes and eyebrows have become so incredibly important to me, I think. I get very tired of the beatific photos of women with their heads shaved, being beautiful and saying, cancer, blah, 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 and look beautiful, feel good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You try. But when you're going through chemo, you don't. I have shaved my head when I was a young person. I've had a shaved head more than once. I have a nicely shaped head. I'm very lucky. I wasn't that concerned about losing my hair until I lost my hair. And then it was the difference between shaving your head and like trying a look and doing it as a look and having your hair go is very different. And it does impact you. I mean, it's you, it's everything about you. I mean, you are not a body, you have a body, but it's a real impact on you to lose your hair, even if you've already shaved your head before. So that was hard. And losing my eyelashes, I think, was the worst. And my left eye, my eyelashes came back in. I'm very lucky. Some people do not get their hair back. I did. But the eyelashes on my left-hand side are a little wonky. They're just a little wonky. So I'm always trying to fix that. Your skin also gets very gray and the texture is rubbery. I didn't like touching my own skin. It kind of made me, ugh, it was a horrible feeling. And chemo is no fun at all. There is nothing fun about chemo. But it is important. And if your doctor, not if somebody, but if your doctor tells you you need chemo, please take the chemo. It's only time. You only have to live through it for this amount of time. You just have to get through it and then it's over and done. So please do the chemo. I find it terrifying, the amount of people who are really afraid of it. I know a number of chemists and scientists. I belong to a skeptics organization, and I've been to listen to cancer experts talking about it, and they are working, and chemo gets better all the time. First of all, cancer's not one thing. Cancer is so specific. When you see the ads that say, you know, we target your specific cancer, all cancer treatments do that. They all do. It is specifically targeted to you, what the cancer is that's affecting you, and your body weight, everything. I mean, it is so specific when they do treatment. Please understand that. The natural medicine is fine. Don't try and treat your cancer with it. If you use it as an adjunct, just be totally open with your oncologist. But please, do not try and treat something like cancer with herbs. You are, herbs or pot. I mean, I am not anti-marijuana, and marijuana can be used really well, especially for side effects of drugs and for appetite, all those things. Please, I am not anti-pot in any way, shape, or form. I'm not even anti-pot as far as if somebody wants to do it recreationally. That's their business. But it will not cure your cancer, nor will putting anything up your bum. So that is my PSA. Please, please, if my surviving for 4 years after treatment means anything at all, let it be that one person who was afraid of treatment and wanted to just go off and do alternative medicine, double thought about it, and decided to go with their oncologist's recommendations, then that is the only thing that I ever have to do in my life, really and truly. So after I did chemotherapy, which I totally sucked, it was a sucky time. My brother-in-law died, I think, 1 week before my very last chemo treatment, which was, of course, on my birthday. I think it was my birthday, because I was a pre-planned C-section. I was born between the Christmas holidays and the New Year's holidays, so I knew going in I was going to have chemo on my birthday. That was fun. Very fun. Happy birthday to me. So that was difficult, losing my brother. And he went into hospice, and I was there up until the day before he died, and I got to say goodbye to him and tell him that I loved him and that it was okay to go, because he wasn't there anymore. In my opinion, he was gone. But I was so chemo sick that I had to leave after that. I had to go, and I got a phone call the next day that he had passed. He was surrounded by people who loved him. He had a wonderful wife who did everything to make sure that he had a good death, and he did. And I miss him. I still miss him. And it's very hard to watch someone die. It's very hard to watch someone die. I could end my sentence there. It's very hard to watch someone die in a way you may die. And I got to see how I may die. And I made some decisions about that, should my cancer come back. But I have been cancer clean for 4 years. And your chances of it coming back start to diminish exponentially as time goes on. So when I finished chemotherapy, they give you 2 weeks off, 2 weeks or a month, I don't remember. They give you time off in between chemo and radiation. Radiation is a frickin' cakewalk, comparatively speaking. I did have burns, a lot of burns, because they did radiation on my breast and on my lymph nodes. So I would lie there like that. It doesn't take very long, and the worst side effect, other than you can get skin breaks, because it's like a really bad sunburn. You can get skin breaks. Some people get terrible skin breaks. I did not. I had a couple, but they weren't horrible, and they give you some great salve for it, so that was all good. And you get very tired. Radiation makes you really tired. And then the rest has just been, I'm on tamoxifen. I take tamoxifen every day. The whole process put me into menopause, probably early. My mother didn't go into menopause until she was 55, and I am 53 or 54. I'm 53. So my one oncologist, when I was saying, well, I probably will never get, he said, we are not going to take you off because we don't know that. And my cancer was estrogen and progesterone positive. Thank you, because that means it's very treatable. If I had to get cancer, this was a very warm and fuzzy cancer to get. All cancer fucking sucks. Let me rephrase that. All cancer sucks. It all sucks. It's all bad. And whatever your pain is your pain. Pain is not, there's no pain Olympics. That my pain is worse than yours. And that I definitely learned in this particular situation. So yeah, now it's just maintenance and living my life, and it hasn't come back. And I had a couple of scares. I go for a mammogram every year, every October. I just hate October because they do the whole pink ribbon campaign. Please don't get involved in that. The pink washing, like, do we really need more knowing about it? I mean, we know about breast cancer. We don't need more campaigns to show. And the Susan Carmen Foundation, most of the money that goes into pink ribbon stuff, which is Susan Carmen or companies that have chosen to link themselves with the whole pink washing thing, either goes to the company itself or it goes to the administration of the Susan Carmen Foundation. Very little of that money goes to breast cancer research. Awareness, that's the word they always say. Breast cancer awareness. We're all friggin' aware, okay? We're aware. I don't know that there's anybody who's not aware of breast cancer. So, I don't buy the pink products. And I love pink. Pink's one of my favorite colors. I won't buy the pink products. And I really hate October because I just get bombarded with it. And then there's the, do the no bra thing for breast cancer. And I'm like, bitch, please. You with your perky little boobs, do you think a woman who's had a double mastectomy needs to see that? How is that helping in any way? Again, is it to bring awareness, or is it so you can do a nice selfie with your boobs up? And I like boobs. I don't have a problem with showing off your boobs. I don't even have a problem with selling with boobs. I have a problem with taking my disease and using it for warm and fuzzies for yourself. Sorry. This may be fairly ranty. This is an open wound on me. So yeah, so I do maintenance. I do tamoxifen. I get a mammogram every year. I've had to have one biopsy. Since then, it came back clean. It was a scar tissue from something else. So I'm good. Like, I'm as good as I can be. I probably, well, I do. I have a much higher risk of dying younger from cancer than many of you do. But I'm doing everything I can to avoid that. That's one of the main reasons I lost weight, because I had gotten heavy for me. Heavier than I'm comfortable with. So I got back down, although I just put on 5 pounds, and I got to start watching my food again because I stopped paying attention. So that's my cancer story, and I'm okay. And if you have a cancer story, I'm really sorry that you have to be in this club. It's a really crappy club to be in, but you are my sister or my brother. And men get breast cancer too. So if you have a husband and they have a lot of breast cancer in their family, keep an eye on it, especially if they are heavier, because Progesterone and estrogen are both affected by, sorry, that's not right. Fat is one of the reasons that we gain weight after menopause is because fat produces estrogen. That's one of the reasons why they want you to keep your weight down if you've had an estrogen positive cancer. So if you have a husband who is overweight and there is a history of breast cancer in his family, he should be careful. This happens to men too. Men have breast tissue. Your breast tissue also goes from here to here. It's not just the breast. It is that entire area has breast tissue, can be affected by breast cancer. So that's my PSA. Maybe I should have done this in October for breast cancer awareness, but I just kind of thought I needed to share that with you all because a lot of you won't know my story and why occasionally I bite my tongue a lot about alternative medicine. And my basic philosophy goes with Tim Minchin on this, and Tim Minchin basically says alternative medicine by its very definition is medicine that either has not been proven to work or has been proven not to work. Because once it's proven to work, we just call it medicine. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying please don't make that your primary source and listen to your doctors. Not your naturopathic doctors. They can have a degree in medieval basket weaving and then they do a 2-year course and then they become a doctor of naturopathic medicine. I'm talking about your doctor who has had to go, has to do pre-med and then 7 years of medical school and then specializing. I'm sorry, I can't help but preach on that. It's one of those things. I have watched people die because they chose alternative methods. And I don't want you to die. I'm not even going to ask anybody to subscribe after this, and I have a feeling I will probably lose subscribers because they're not going to like my stance on alternative medicine. But I felt I needed to share it, and I do truly appreciate each and every one of you and for listening to me ramble. And I hope something I said was helpful. And that's, if I made one person go out and get their mammogram, then that's all I ever have to do. Ever on YouTube. That would be it. Thank you.